Okay, joining me this morning to look at what the papers are saying is Osta Eze. Osta Eze is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Osta.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning,
Yeah,
viewers.
it's good to have you indeed. Okay, let's begin from our website this morning, Tuesday, the 8th day of August 2023, to bring you the news that are making the rounds there. The first one, it says, Monday sit at home, full commercial activities in Onitsha, Obosi markets. As Chukwuemeka Eri of Enugu Aguleri visits IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu in Abuja. NASIMA president cautions against compromising standards in certification of goods. And finally from here, NIPR executives visit ABSMD Ubidewu seeks support ahead of council election. All these and many more are the stories you'll find from our website this morning, www.absradiotv.com. Okay, let's move on. Monday sit at home, Osta, yesterday. Okay, though as I was coming to work, everywhere quiet as usual, but then I think after about some few hours, like let's say from 10 to 11, activities started picking up here. But like somebody once said, that if you want to know whether there's some compliance to sit at home, you watch the markets. So once the Onitsha markets are on, there's no sit at home. Or what do you say?
Yeah, I think I quite agree. And it goes to show that the efforts being made by different stakeholders in our society to stop this phenomenon of sitting at home on Mondays is bearing some fruits. And I quite give kudos to our state governor as well as every other Southeast governor that is making efforts to ensure that people go about their activities on Mondays. You know, Mondays used to be a very intense day of the week, and we used to have a lot of socio-economic activities on Mondays, but with this sit at home, a lot has reduced economic-wise in the Southeast. So I'm glad activities are picking up on Mondays, and I hope that beyond stopping the phenomenon of sitting at home on Mondays, that the issues that gave rise to even calling for the sit at home in the first place are also looked into by these state governors and Southeast stakeholders. It's going to go a long way in ensuring that the sit at home is a thing of the past completely. And one of those issues I think will have to do with the protracted incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed IPOB. We know that a lot of people have been making efforts to see that he's removed from incarceration. I know there was a time when there was a particular court injunction and that's asked for him to be released, but that injunction was not adhered to by the past administration. But I hope that Tinubu would play that card for the Southeast. If I were in his shoes, I think it would have been one of the things I would have done ASAP to start in the verge to regain the trust of the Southeast in my presidency. But I don't really know who his advisors are. I don't know why he's taking him so much time.
Like he wants to gain your trust? What does he want to do with your trust or whatever?
He's our president. He needs the confidence of everybody who's under his watch. If not, it will be difficult for him to carry out his activities as a president. So I believe that after we've gone through that phase of electioneering, even though there are still some teething issues that have not been addressed. But on the interim, I believe that the best thing to do would be to mend fences, build bridges, and move forward. And one of the best ways he would have done that, one of the fastest, easiest ways of doing that would have been to release Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of people agree with this too.
Okay, that takes care of our second story here. As the Chukwuemeka area of Enugu Aguleri visits IPOB leader. And then let's talk about this sit at home briefly before we move on. Just about how many days ago, I think it was last week, and somebody just wake up to say there's going to be 2 weeks sit at home in the whole of the Southeast region. And some people are asking why, what is your reason? How can you just stand up and say that people should sit at home, not minding the economic situation in Nigeria? Why, if you don't go out any day, you don't eat, you are not sure of where your next meal is coming from? Okay, so if you lock up people at home 2 weeks, what did you put on ground for that? Any palliative? Is there any way you are subsidizing their living or whatever? Why should you even do that? What do you intend to achieve? Okay, let's merge it with what you just said now about President Tinubu releasing Nnamdi Kanu and perhaps trying to or wanting to gain trust of the Igbo nation, if that is the case. But I've always asked this question. If somebody, how do you know somebody that really wants you to progress in life, or somebody who is envious of your progress in life? And then you are telling that person, I don't want to progress again, I want to sit at a place and make sure that I crumble all the businesses I have and every economic condition in the region. And the person will say, oh, okay, that's good. I've been wanting to see how I would do that. And now that you want to help me, go ahead and sleep at home as long as you care. Don't you think that's what is playing out?
Well, I believe so. I quite agree with you. And it's quite a pity that people of the Southeast origin are playing to the card of some of these people, some of these detractors. Okay, I don't understand how somebody who is not in the Southeast as at present, somebody who is not part of our socio-economic activities, who is not gaining or losing from our socio-economic activities in the Southeast, will tell you not to go about your lawful duties in the name of gaining the attention of somebody who doesn't even care about you, and you go ahead and acquiesce to that, even try to enforce that. It really doesn't show that we are really Ndi Igbo, who are sensible, who know how to think, through things, who knows how to who knows how to discern between when you're being deceived and when you're not. It really doesn't show that we've actually learned from our past mistakes. Okay?
And something you have been doing over the years is not
yielding any. So why do you keep doing it?
It's
only a madman that will keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So I think it's high time we started, giving ourselves the kind of advice, self-advice that we need as Ndi Igbo. Understand that we need all the economic activities we can get. That is all we've got. If our economic power is taken away from us, we are nothing. We are as good as nothing. All right, and businesses are being moved away from the Southeast. All right, as a result of this Monday sit at home.
You're not benefiting from the government, and that thing that is keeping you on, you also want to crumble it.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. We are just looking at the breakdown of the number of ministers that we are taking from each region. We got just 5. Southeast just got the least. Okay, while others are getting 10, 11, 9, 8, you got just 5. So you are not in government. You are not even in the business enterprise that you are known for. What exactly do you think you are doing to yourself? That's what we are asking this morning. But let's move on. Let's move on. We'll keep talking. That's exactly what we are paid for. All right, NASIMA president cautions against compromising standards in certification of goods. We may need to join it with this other one. In PR executive visit, ABSMD Obidi will seek support ahead of council elections. I think that election is really a streaming fire.
Yeah, it really is. And well, the thing is about certification of goods. I know that when the likes of Dora Akunyili was still around and at the helm of our affairs, Nigerians started regaining Nigerian consumers started gaining confidence in goods they are consuming. But these days, I think we've not really had that level of precision to maintaining global standard in the goods that get certified. And it really calls for concern, because the truth of the matter is that we are a consuming nation, and if we also do not certify the right goods that are of the same, proper standard, then that means that we're heading for total destruction. all right, as a society, total disintegration as a society. Now look at the rate at which a lot of diseases, a lot of disease conditions are gaining precedence in our society today. Now presently I understand that resident doctors are on strike. Just yesterday, a friend of mine whose father is in a critical condition could not gain proper medical attention because resident doctors are on a strike. All right, so you can't afford to fall ill right now. You can't afford to expose your body to foods that have questionable standards. All right, so we are really calling on NACIMA. All right, we're really joining words with NACIMA president. All right, to ensure that we don't, do that Nigerian thing in quotes in certification of goods if we really want to still have some level of, sanity and basic health in our society today.
Okay. Okay, briefly, and the Anambra State, I think we'll have 2 strong candidates that are contesting for this NPR convention. So,
yeah.
So how do you see that?
Well, let the best man, carry the day. We'll have
the best man. We'll have a man and a woman. Just say, let
best
the best
man. Quotes, the best man. There's still man and woman, so let the best man carry the day. I wish them luck, and I hope that whoever it is that takes on the helm of affairs, the mantle of leadership, understands the responsibility that is associated with that position. NIPR is a very significant body in the society, and it goes a long way in ensuring that the right brands, the right companies, the right people get the promotion, the right kind of promotion they deserve. So I wish them luck. I wish them luck.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's now venture into the papers and see what is trending there too. Daily Sun is our first paper this morning. Beside the name template, Akpabio promises to take up Southeast case for appointment of more ministers. Like I said earlier, that I've seen the breakdown of the ministerial nominees, and we got just 5. The list as usual anyway. Okay, but the banner headline and the Daily Sun says, Niger, ECOWAS leaders perfect action plan. What are their action plans? Meet on Thursday as Mali, Burkina Faso plan to send a delegation. And then MBF advises Tinubu to focus on Nigeria's problems. It will be useless venture, Air Chief Ocholo warns. All these are coming under this story. Niger, ECOWAS leaders perfect action plan. Okay, down here, Senate suspends confirmation of El-Rufai, Danladi Okotete over security reports with right there, chaos, drama in chamber over Kayemo. Okay, let's move on to another paper, which is the New National Star. El-Rufai, okay, ministerial screening. El-Rufai, Okotete, Danladi fails Senate confirmation over security reports. And the writers say Umahi Nwike, Tunji Ojo, 42 others scaled through. 42 others. Okay, we'll have 48 ministerial nominees just for this country alone. Okay, Northwest dominates list with 10 nominees. Southwest 9, Southeast 5, South 7, Northeast 8, North Central 8. That's the breakdown of the ministerial nominee. Even South got 7, and then Southeast is getting just 5. The least, none of them got 6. So there's even a jump before you get to where we are. Okay, we keep moving, and we must continue. Abba Yusuf swears in Kano's first female chief judge. That's good. And then a whole lot of stories here, down here. Okay, Niger, ECOWAS swears fresh options as Junta lost of ultimatum that ended yesterday, Abby, or was it on Sunday? All right, the Punch newspaper. Federal government withdraws contempt suit against Labour. NLC may suspend strike. Let's look at the writers. Solicitor General writes NLC. Falana says federal government suspends suit over Tinubu's intervention. NLC 2UC awaits federal government on palliative agreement. Call special meeting over planned strike. Former Character Commission officer admits taking bribes in DICE chairman, this woman's case. It's been trending. Okay, Delhi Independence sees aircraft minimum regulation for startup airlines causes there. With the rider there, stakeholders want policy discouraging. Okay, one policy discouraging, counterproductive. Okay, and down here, ministerial screening, Senate clears 45, differs confirmation of El-Rufai, Danladi. Okay, we have seen that story. Let's also see if we can get something there. ECOWAS to meet on Thursday after Niger junta defies deadline. Niger closes airspace in preparation for military invasion. Oh, what's wrong with these guys? Who told them that there will be any military invasion? Okay, pension fund returns on investment bullish in HI 2023 as PFS record positive earnings. WAEC releases 2023 results, records 79.81% pass rate. Oh, that's great. And then says no result for Niger, Zamfara, others over indebtedness. Okay, I was very scared when I heard about the number of figures that were withheld. So now we know where the figures are coming from. All right, now Special Forces rescue 7 kidnapped victims in Kaduna. Do we have other stories coming from here? No way. Let's take all the stories and then we'll come back talking. Yeah, this day newspaper is our next paper this morning with a banner headline there. ECOWAS, heads of states meet Thursday after expiration of deadline to Niger junta. No plot to impeach deputy governor, says Obaseki. Okay, that's all we're taking from that paper. The Nation newspaper, no plot to impeach Shaibu, says Obaseki. We have seen that story. But a banner headline on the Nation newspaper, that's where we are now. Security clearance delays El-Rufai, Okotete, and Danladi. We've seen the stories. Okay, another story coming from there. ECOWAS plans review of Niger junta position. We've seen all the stories. It does appear that saying the same thing everywhere. The Guardian newspaper. Housing affordability crisis, inflation, high interest rates, spike scales, and then rents by 40% in major cities. I think Oka zone is about 70% or more. Okay. The Daily Trust newspaper. Euro-bound flights diverted amidst fear of fake hike. Wow. And then the riders there say Lagos-London one-way tickets cost 5.6 million naira. Did you hear that, sister?
Wow.
Lagos-London one-way ticket, not return. Okay. And then Mali, Burkina Faso send delegation to Niger. Air France suspends flights. ECOWAS meets again Thursday. And then Germany threatens coupists with sanctions, prosecution, a lot of threats. But these boys are diehards. El-Rufai, 2 others, confirmation on hold. Okay, I think we've seen that one. Last paper this morning is the Tribune, the Nigerian Tribune. New ministers, why Senate withheld El-Rufai, 2 others, confirmation. Okay, well, I think we have seen the reason, security report on them. Emulate Jakonde selfless service, Sanwo-Olu, Oshoba, others, tax political office holders. ECOWAS to meet on Niger Thursday, no plot to impeach them. Okay, we've seen all the stories. Let's get back to where we started. Yeah, that's the Daily Sun. Let's look at what's trending about the defilement of these juntas from the Niger Republic, and then what ECOWAS is quartered to do. What do you expect is going to happen on Thursday? Is there going to be a go-ahead to military invasion of Niger Republic, having defied their ultimatum?
Well, the truth of the matter is that ultimatum was uncalled for. Okay? Because you can tell me, and everybody knows that Niger Republic is not the first country in the ECOWAS that has undergone a military coup in recent times. So why is Niger Republic's case unique? Why is it different? Why is everybody having an erection over Niger Republic's military coup. I actually called somebody that lives in the Nigeria Republic, a Nigerian that lives in the Nigeria Republic, over the weekend, asking him what really is the situation report in the Nigeria Republic. And he told me that over 90%, over 95% of Nigerians are happy with the development. And that if you're in Nigeria Republic, you won't even know that there was a coup. Because the president whose presidency was toppled is held in a prison that's inside their White House, all right?
The government lodge.
The president's lodge, all right? And that activities are still going on normally, that even the people are happy with the development because they understand that right now that their country is being returned to them. Their
and
resources.
There's no form of opposition coming from Niger.
Of course not.
Some people that are supporting the Nigerian president opposing. Nobody's opposing.
There's no such thing. So Nigeria. So why are foreign people from outside Nigeria, when the people are saying they are happy with the development, with how things are, why are people from other countries, especially the Europeans who've been robbing Nigerians as well as every other African countries, silly, robbing them blind, why are they now so interested and raising some of these sanctions and instigating ECOWAS leadership, of course, which is now our new president, President Tinubu, who is not even standing on 2 feet as the president of Nigeria yet? Why are they instigating him to stir up this level of violence in ECOWAS, in the ECOWAS countries? All right, it's uncalled for. And I really love the way Nigerians responded to that 7-day ultimatum that was given Nigerians. All right, I love the way some other countries that are in the West, like Russia and a couple of others, are rising to the occasion and saying that enough is enough. That they will not be alive and see Nigerians intimidated into accepting a government they do not want. All right? There's been a lot of conspiracy theories, and there are some level of truth in these theories that actually the reason for all these uproar as a result of the coup is because that the Nigerians' resources, natural resources, were being taken away from them with little or no returns being given to the people. And
okay, let's see. Somebody has joined us.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Ejike.
Okay, Ejike, you're welcome.
I'm calling from Welcome.
Welcome there.
Okay. Yeah, I want to say something on this military, planned military invasion of Nigeria Republic.
Right.
I don't know which soldiers our president is planning to send there, because the same soldiers that we have problems in Nigeria, serious problems. And this is why I said that Nigeria has a serious problem, and we are looking for a serious person that will solve this problem in Nigeria. Our military that cannot combat terrorism in Nigeria, that cannot combat bandits in Nigeria, banditry, that you want to send them to Nigeria to go and solve another person's problem. He is just looking for a way to use our money so that he can recoup the money spent in the election. That's my own. You should not send any single soldier there. Let him take his own problem and fix our own problem here.
Okay. All right. Good morning, HK. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Yes.
You can see how this person sounds. That goes to show this actually echoes what most, if not all, Nigerians are saying about the development. They are pissed with the development, and they don't understand how the presidency. Okay, you want to carry out a military invasion in Nigeria Republic. You do not even consult Nigerians who are going to be directly affected. Okay, because we share common borders.
That are going to give him permission to go ahead.
But they did not give him that permission.
And do you see him going there? I don't think he said he's going now.
But they are still going to hold a meeting, and they are still screaming. Yeah, it's just a meeting, quite all right. But for the fact that he came up with that idea in the first place, and for the fact that he's playing to the gallery of France and Germany and every other country that had been benefiting from the stealing of Nigeria Republic's resources, go to show that whose side he's on. He's not on the side of Nigerians. If he's really on the side of Nigerians, you should listen to the heartbeat of Nigerians and understand that there is no need to invade Nigeria Republic in the first place. No need at all. You should focus on Nigeria's problems. We have teething security problems in Nigeria that we are yet to even solve at all. We have kidnap cases across, all right, the country. And you're talking about going to invade a country that is at peace with the development in their government. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, and your position, I mean, explains why some people are also advising him, like MBF advises Tinubu to focus on Nigeria's problem.
Yeah, true.
Okay, and then the Air Chief Ocholo warns that this is going to be a useless venture.
Of course. And
so why would you want to venture into that? We have a lot of economic concerns in this nation. We are going hungry. Nobody knows the next, where the next meal is coming from. And you want to go and waste resources in fighting a war that doesn't even concern you. Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's look at the screening. And then that's the ministerial screening, how it's going on. Some people said, I mean, we read from here that, what do you call it? That some people were dropped. That's El-Rufai, Danladi, and Okotete. But another person that everybody expected that should be dropped is Keyamo.
Yeah,
even when they say there's an outcry in the house saying, why must this one come to? Okay, let's look at that.
Yeah, well, I'm happy the National Assembly kept their word by saying that it's no longer going to be a case of move on, we're not going to screen you the way it was in the last assembly, all right? With the last assembly, that they are definitely going to screen everybody to the letter, and they are doing that, and I hope money doesn't exchange hands. I hope they don't turn around and go against their promise to Nigerians. There's a need for these persons who have been recommended for ministerial positions to really be screened properly, and if there's any person who is found wanting, the person should be screened out, all right? I think it's one of the ways National Assembly is going to gain the confidence of Nigerians, and they really need the confidence of Nigerians to thrive in what they are doing. And beyond that, we want them to start looking at some other serious concerns of Nigerian people, because they are there to represent the Nigerian people. They are not there to curry favor with the presidency, all right, or to focus on their personal interests. They are there to focus on the interests of Nigerians, and we have a lot of interests, which one of them is the high cost of governance in Nigeria. They really need to address that.
Okay, and let's look at the number of the ministers that are coming from each region. Like I said, that five were allotted to the
Well, I'm not surprised with that. I'm not surprised with that, given the role the Southeast played in the last presidential elections. Of course, we know the Southeast did not vote for Tinubu en masse like every other region, and probably
is the election the same thing as governance?
Of course it's not. Of course it's not. But this is Nigeria, all right? And not just Nigeria. We are dealing with human beings, emotional people, political animals, all right? So politics plays a role in every decision Nigerians make. It plays a role in every decision. It's not starting with Tinubu. It was like that in Buhari's administration. I did not mince word when he said that he cannot sacrifice the interest of the 95% that voted for him for the 5% that did not vote for him. He said it, you know, in black and white.
So it's a template that
is being maintained.
But I know it wasn't like that with Obasanjo and a whole lot of
that's one of the things.
Even Jonathan, it wasn't like that when he was there, and I don't understand what's going on.
Well, okay, it's one of the audacities of the APC government that we have to deal with.
I know. Federal government withdraws contempt of suit against Labour. NLC may suspend strike. Let's look at what's trending between NLC and Labour. Why did they even sue them in the first place? Don't they have a right to industrial actions again?
Well, I understand that the federal government sought the intervention of the court to stop that strike action. And when NLC insisted on going on that strike, they felt the NLC was going in contempt of court, and probably that was why they said they wanted to sue. But of course, all these things are in the back and forth they are playing, all right, to probably buy time while they seek for more lasting solutions to, you know, the removal of fuel subsidy and the backlash that, you know, they are getting from that. Personally, I agree that fuel subsidy is supposed to be removed, all right? But where I disagree with the federal government is
the palliative. If there's any subsidy existing in the first place, it should be removed.
Yeah, of course, it needs to be removed. Okay, but where I do not, you know, agree with the federal government is with the measures they had put in place to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy. The measures were not enough, all right? And while they are still feeding fat, while they are still living on, you know, a lot of money, a lot of take-homes, you know, the average Nigerian is still finding it difficult to, you know, to handle 2 square meals, all right, in a day. And it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really show that the federal government is for Nigerians. The government is not for Nigeria. It's not a democracy you are running if it's not a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. All right. So I think the back and forth that is going on now between the federal government and the NLC, I actually, when the NLC had called for that strike action, I personally asked them that it was not necessary, that it was going to worsen our condition, because over the years, I've been following the strike actions over the years, and I found out that instead of helping matters, it had worsened matters. Now, presently, resident doctors are on strike. Now, look at the effect on the common man. The people who you're going on strike for, they can afford to fly their wards. They have to fly themselves abroad and get the medical attention, the kind of medical attention they need. When you go on strike, people who get affected are the same common people you say you're fighting for. So do you shoot yourself on the foot to express your anger? Does it make sense? All right, so I don't understand how the NLC thinks. All right, I don't understand how they are following their issues. Aren't there other avenues that can be explored in seeking to express their grievance against the federal government? Can they sue the federal government at least? All right, okay, because it is said that the court of law is supposed to be the last hope of the common man. Can't they explore that avenue at least? All right, instead of going on strike action, shutting down the system, and the common man dying off. I'm telling you that a lot of people are dying off. A lot of people are losing their lives presently as a result of this strike action by resident doctors. But who are you going to hold to blame?
I know. Well, it's not a good thing that the federal government is not listening to all these things that the different, what do you call it, segment of the economy is saying. The other day was ASU, now is the medical doctor, and there's always the medical doctor every year. Yeah. ASU every year. Why wouldn't you listen to them and solve this problem once and for all? That's where we are. Okay, you avoided this story, and it keeps coming about El-Rufai and Dr. not being cleared due to security reasons, and then it has reappeared again in the Nation newspaper.
Yeah, you know.
How do you even see that ministerially, looking at the pedigree of the people that were chosen by Tinubu to be ministers in Nigeria?
Like, that still goes to confirm what I said earlier.
Look at El-Rufai, people that just stepped down from seat of power, and you are bringing them as ministers. When they go home, don't we have people again in Nigeria? Why this recycling? That
has been the stock in trade of the Nigerian government. It has been recycling the same people over the decades. Since the inception of Nigeria's democracy and even beyond, we've continued to recycle the same people. You'll be surprised that the same persons who were in the government as at the 1960s and 1970s are still the same people there, holding different positions, either them or their children. All right? And you tell me you're running democracy in Nigeria. All right? It doesn't make sense. But I'm happy Nigerians are waking up to these facts. Okay? It's a first step to emancipating ourselves from this slavery, all right, to some of this hegemony that is, holding us at ransom over the years. We're going to get there, definitely. We're going to get there one day.
Okay. Let's look at the Guardian newspaper story. We are getting set. I'm ready to close shops. Inflation, high interest rates, spike sales, rents by 40% in major cities. I don't know how you are coping. For me, it's been very difficult.
It's been very horrible.
Honestly
it's been quite horrible.
I don't even
moving
know.
from one place to the other has been a Herculean task. And I wonder
if every day
if
you
like
buy 5,000 naira worth of fuel to go to work and go back every day. That's what I do. How can we survive with this? How much is your transport allowance? How much is even your salary? You are spending more. I mean, all your salary, if it's even up to that.
And just transportation.
Just transporting yourself to work.
It's quite sad, and so far we've not really started seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. Things are still that abysmal, and to even add to that, more Nigerians are leaving the country. More Nigerians are leaving the shores of the country.
Those that have the opportunity.
Yeah, those that have the opportunity.
Look at the flight ticket to London, 5.something million naira. So
people are borrowing.
So how many people have that kind of money?
Believe you me, people are going and borrowing. People are selling off their birthrights just to travel out of this country. It doesn't tell good of the country.
Nation.
All right? It doesn't tell good of the country. If they now get into trouble there and they need to come back, where do they now come back to? So we have more teething issues to attend to in Nigeria, and not to focus attention on what's happening in our backyard. All right, there are more teething issues we need to focus on here. The economic situation right now is quite abysmal, and I wonder how the lowest of the lows, the poorest of the poor are coping today. And I really want to use this opportunity to call out on every one of us who can. If there's anybody that approaches you on the way, even if the person is well dressed and asks you for arms, if you have at all, just assist the person, because a lot of people are getting into crime because they don't have any alternative anymore. A lot of children are going hungry. Just the other day, was it yesterday or the day first? I saw on the news that a lady had to kill her 2 kids, had to murder her 2 kids because the husband can no longer provide money for feeding. So you can imagine something else. So that shows the level of frustration that has brought out the animal instincts in the woman. And a lot of other things are happening. All right, that goes to show that all right. So we need to be more empathic to one another right now. As a people, the way we did during the lockdown, that we started showing more love to ourselves. Let's start doing it right now. We need to start showing more love to one another right now. Start showing as much assistance as you can afford to show to whoever it is that you find, around you. Let's help ourselves while we wait for our government to come around.
Okay. Thank you very much, Star Eze, for joining us this morning. I think that's all we can take for now, because virtually all the stories are repeating themselves here and there. We'd like to thank you very much for coming.
It's always my pleasure. Thanks for having me once again.
Thank you. Do stand by for the next round of program that will come your way now. My name is Sichoma. Thank you.